Title: Frozen Whispers. The bitter cold of winter had descended upon the small town of Frostwood, coating the landscape in a blanket of snow and casting a pall of darkness over the sleepy streets. But amidst the stillness of the season, something sinister lurked in the shadows, waiting to reveal itself to those brave enough to venture into the icy depths of the night. One frigid evening, a group of friends gathered at a secluded cabin on the outskirts of town, eager to escape the monotony of their everyday lives and embrace the thrill of the winter wilderness. Little did they know, their weekend getaway would become a nightmare they'd never forget. As the sun dipped below the horizon and the temperature plummeted, the friends huddled around the crackling fire, their laughter echoing through the empty woods. But as the night wore on and the fire burned low, a sense of unease settled over them, a feeling that they were not alone in the darkness. With nervous laughter, they brushed off their fears and retired to their beds, eager to escape into the realm of dreams. But as they drifted into a restless sleep, a strange sound echoed through the cabin, a soft, haunting melody that seemed to seep through the cracks in the walls and settle into their bones. With a start, the friends awoke to find themselves shrouded in darkness, the fire nothing but embers in the hearth. Confused and disoriented, they stumbled out of bed and searched for the source of the sound, their hearts pounding with fear as they followed the eerie melody through the empty halls. But as they ventured deeper into the darkness, the melody grew louder, its haunting notes echoing through the empty cabin like a siren's song. With each step, the air grew thick with an otherworldly energy, the temperature dropping until their breath hung in the air like frozen mist. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the melody stopped, leaving the friends standing in the darkness, their hearts racing with fear. With trembling hands, they reached for the light switch, but to their horror, the lights flickered and died, plunging the cabin into darkness. With a sense of dread creeping over them, the friends huddled together, their minds racing with terror as they realized that they were not alone in the cabin, that something sinister lurked in the shadows, waiting to reveal itself to them. As the night stretched on and the temperature dropped, the friends heard whispers in the darkness, soft, chilling voices that seemed to emanate from the very walls of the cabin. With each whisper, the air grew colder, until the friends could see their breath in the air before them. Desperate for escape, they stumbled towards the door, but to their horror, they found it frozen shut, the ice sealing them inside like a tomb. With a sinking feeling in the pit of their stomachs, they realized that they were trapped in the darkness with whatever lurked in the shadows. And then, just as suddenly as it had begun, the whispers stopped, leaving the friends standing in the darkness, their hearts pounding with fear. With trembling hands, they reached for each other, their breath coming in ragged gasps as they braced themselves for whatever horror awaited them in the icy depths of the night. Title: The Haunting of Willow's Hollow. In the quaint countryside of Willow's Hollow, a newlywed couple had just moved into their charming cottage nestled amongst the trees. Sarah, the young bride, found herself alone one fateful night as her husband was away on business, leaving her to settle into their new home alone for the first time. As Sarah drifted into a restless sleep, the night wrapped around the cottage like a cloak, casting eerie shadows across the room. But amidst the silence of the night, a strange sensation crept over her, a feeling of being watched, of unseen eyes peering out from the darkness. Suddenly, she was jolted awake by a sound, a soft, whispering voice that seemed to echo through the walls of the cottage. Heart pounding, Sarah sat up in bed, her eyes darting around the room in search of the source of the sound. But as she scanned the darkness, she saw nothing. Only the faint glow of the moonlight filtering through the curtains and the shifting shadows dancing across the walls. With a nervous laugh, Sarah chalked it up to her imagination and tried to settle back down to sleep. But just as she was about to close her eyes, she heard it again, the whispering voice, closer this time, as though it were right beside her bed. "Sarah," it murmured, its voice soft and insistent. "Come with me." Frozen with fear, Sarah lay paralyzed in bed, her mind racing with terror as she tried to make sense of what she was hearing. Who was calling her name in the dead of night? And what did they want from her? Summoning every ounce of courage she had, Sarah reached for the bedside lamp and flicked it on, casting a warm glow across the room. But to her horror, she saw no one, only the empty room and the silence of the night. With a trembling hand, Sarah reached for her phone and dialed her husband's number, her voice shaking as she recounted the chilling experience. But as the call connected, she heard something that sent a chill down her spine, the sound of her own voice, whispering her name from the other end of the line. Heart pounding, Sarah dropped the phone and fled from the room, her footsteps echoing through the empty house as she raced towards the safety of the front door. But just as she reached it, a shadowy figure appeared before her. A woman with eyes as black as night, her ghostly form illuminated by the moonlight streaming through the window. With a scream, Sarah turned and ran, her mind reeling with fear as she fled into the darkness of the night. And as she disappeared into the shadows, the cottage stood silent and empty, its secrets hidden within its walls for eternity.